What's up with it, everybody? You already know what it is. Mr. Everything Boxing. Mr. There he go talking that boxing again. I don't watch reality TV. I watch boxing. And you already know how I do. Once you get in the building, let me know you off in the building. Put in your name. Let me know where you coming from. And we're going to get the show started real soon. We got a whole lot to talk about. A whole lot to talk about. Let me know where you coming from when you hop in the building. Yes, sir. And like I always do, let me give everybody a chance to come in the building. Let them know I'm on. What's up with it? Like I said, when you come in the building, let me know you in the building. You know what I'm saying? So I can shout out, your name and where you coming from. If share this on all your platforms for me.
Coming down, holding this.
Maurice Isaac in the building, coming in from that 513. What it do? And like I said, I'm gonna get the show started real soon because we got a whole lot to cook on today. I'm just waiting for some more people to get in the building. Cause I stay glowed and I make G's. Been trying really hard to fade me. And I've been thinking about killing you lately. My head is open from that chronic that I'm smoking. I broke but still open. A bunch of niggas hoping I'm joking. I went from rags to riches, money, cars, and bitches. From hugs and kisses to busting slugs and snitches. Who I done thugged the bitches. Staying true to the finish. I'm leaving thugs with stitches, but busters still in my business. That's why I roll with the chrome and act a fool in the streets. You busters roam in my soul. I'm laying it down with this heat. That's on my passenger seat. The only friend I can trust. Ready to put dicks in the dust when it's time to bust. Ain't got no time to bust. Cause I got money to make. I'm staying away from you fakes that perpetrate and play a hate. But if you cross that line, I'ma cock that 9 and put it on your mind. And have your family crying. I hit you with that eye. And I ain't lying. I done told you bastards too many times. Stop fucking with mine. Nigga, used to play a hater. Why you hate? Why you hate, man? Cause I stay glowed and I make G. Been trying really hard to pay for the favor. And I've been thinking about killing you lately. Play a hater. Why you hate? Why you hate? Cause I stay glowed and I make G. Been trying really hard to pay for the favor. And I've been thinking about killing you lately. Sweet Jones from the south side of Texas, east side for Arthur, where the haters be places. When I was 17, I was thrown in the game. In my piece, in my chain. I be gripping things every day in the side, talking down on UGK, get you bust in your mind. It's all about the paper, but it's some fakers die here. Fake rollers on their wrist and fake diamonds in their using their image diamond on me. Got a registered paper. Peter took a 2-week vacation to Jamaica. Spurs not Lakers. Serve a boy Baker. Down with the nation. Got a highly person. Thank you. Represent the tree of ass niggas staying high. Fat boy inspired and we ain't trying. Let me see. Daniel Parr coming from Pittsburgh. What's good with it? Charles Harper coming. What up with it? Cleo Floyd off in the building. He coming from that Seattle. My boy KG Alexander off in the building. He coming from that 520, that Tucktown. Charles Harper off in the building from that 513. What's happening with it? Like I said, we're going to get the show started real soon. We got a whole lot to talk about. I got a whole lot to cook on today. And if anybody want to tap in, you see the name, the numbers on the screen. Call in, and I'm also gonna put a link for you to tap in too. A couple more, about another minute. I'm gonna get the show started. And like I said, tap in the comment section. Let me know where you coming in from. So what it is, you already know what I do. You know, there he go talking that boxing again. We gonna go ahead and get the show started. You know, if you come in late, you just come in late. It's a lot I want to cook on today. It's a whole lot, you know. It's been going on, a whole lot of bullshit that's been going on in boxing. But the first thing I want to get into is let's go ahead and talk about Jermell Charlo versus Jason Rosario. Now, you know, let's go ahead and get into that. You know, so before, I don't know if y'all remember when Jason Rosario won the belt. You know, when he beat J-Rock Julian Williams and won that strap, they immediately asked him about fighting Jermell Charlo, right? Mr. Reyes J off in the building, what it is. Okay, so if y'all remember, when Jason Rosario won that belt from J-Rock Williams, they immediately asked him about fighting Jermell Charlo. And what was his words after that fight? He said no. He said no, he wasn't going to fight Charlo next. Basically, you know, in so many words, he summed it up saying that, you know, he wanted some tune-up fights before he even thought about fighting the Jermell Charlo. He wasn't ready for that fight. That's basically what he said out of his own mouth. Okay? That's what he said out of his own mouth. But Jason Rosario, now, like a lot of these other fighters, ever since this COVID-19 stuff has been going on, you know, all of a sudden he changed up. Now, he actually calling out Jermell Charlo, saying that's the next fight that he want. That's the opponent that he want to fight, that he want all the smoke with Jermell Charlo. So I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at a lot of these other fighters, and I'm saying to myself, what has changed? Because when they asked you in the ring after your last fight, you was basically like, no, you don't want no parts of Jermell Charlo next. But all of a sudden now, ever since this COVID-19 stuff is going on, now you want to fight him? It don't make no sense to me. I mean, it sounds like a lot of bullshit to me, you know, to really be real with y'all. And I see a lot of these fighters are doing that. A lot of these fighters now, they all of a sudden want to take fights that they weren't willing to take before. Why is this? You know, why is this? So yeah, like I said, basically, you know, Jason Rosario, he's acting like he's calling out Jermell Charlo. He's saying that's the fight that he want. That he don't want no other fight next, and that's the smoke he want. Do y'all believe that? Because I mean, me personally, I gotta take a man for his word, you know, and his words were that he didn't want to fight Jermell Charlo when he first came out, right after his bout. So what has changed? Do y'all believe that? Cleo Floyd, Tiffany Sumner off in the building from that South Carolina. What's going on with you, Queen? Cleo Floyd says Charlo about to unify. He says Rosario isn't ready. Charlo has a super chin, unbelievable endurance, and can bang. Maybe Charlo would get his respect he deserves. I feel you. I agree with everything you say. But do you think if all this shit is lifted within the next couple weeks, do you think that Jason Rosario is going to keep that same energy? Do y'all think he's going to keep that same energy that he had? Because like I said, he sure wasn't having that energy before. So what has changed? It looked like to me that all of these fighters, you know, they talking a whole bunch of tough shit because they don't know when boxing is coming back. Now that boxing is off, I think they talking a whole lot of shit that they really not really about, just so they can, you know, keep the spotlight on themselves and draw attention in. That's how I feel about it. I feel like it's a whole lot of, you know, what these young dudes say, capping going on. I feel like it's a whole lot of bullshit capping going on. Really. That's how I really feel. Let me see. Joseph Jackson says the promoters is talking them into it. It might be because something ain't right about all this shit. Daniel Parr says most boxers saying that for the money or fame. I feel you. I agree because I don't believe it. I got to take you for your word, what you said to begin with. Nothing's changed to me. What's changed? Oh, my bad, y'all. I had this private. I had to change it up. Everything was private. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, what's changed? Let me see. Cleo Floyd, he says, J-Rock declined the rematch. Maybe Rosario gambles on himself to unify. He says, doubt it, but would be hell of a gamble. He says he doubted, but it would be hell of a gamble. Yeah, if that might be it, Cleo. But like I said, I mean, when I heard the man, you know, speak after the fight, you know, with J-Rock, what I seen and heard from him, you know, after the fight, and then, you know, days after the fight and weeks after the fight, that shit let me know that he really wasn't looking for no smoke with Jermell Charlo no time soon. Like, he really wasn't. He didn't want no smoke with Jermell Charlo at all. So all of a sudden, everything changed up, and just not him. I know re-singling him out right now, but it ain't just him. because all these fighters have been doing a lot of big talking that they weren't about before all this COVID-19 stuff went down. They weren't about that shit. Cleo says Ryan Garcia is doing the most capping. Yeah, Ryan, I'm going to get into Ryan Garcia too in a little bit. He talking a whole lot. Mr. Reyes J says what changed is J-Rock don't want immediate rematch. He's saying not saying Rosario want to fight. KG Alexander said he stayed big capping. Yeah, man. I don't know, because Jason Rosario, like I said, we could say that everything changed up when J-Rock said he don't want that immediate rematch or whatnot. But the thing is with that is when Jason Rosario spoke about it, he wasn't even really talking about giving J-Rock an immediate rematch. That wasn't really the question on the table that was presented to him. He was just basically saying no matter what happens, he didn't want to fight Charlo next. And his team was saying that they didn't want him to fight Charlo, whether they got a rematch with, whether they had to do a rematch with J-Rock or not. That's what I'm saying. I could understand if a rematch was in place and, you know, they was like, no, first we want to give a rematch to J-Rock, Julian Williams, and then, you know, we'll look at Charlo. But that wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't even how it went down. He was just like straight off the bat, we don't want to fight Charlo, whether there's a rematch clause or not. So, you know what I'm saying? He was basically saying that he wasn't ready. So I don't, what's changed? You feel me? What has changed? So, I mean, what y'all think about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do y'all think that he really want that smoke with Charlo? And how do y'all see that fight going, you know, if Jason Rosario do fight Charlo? Because, I mean, we all seen it. He beat the dog shit out of Julian Williams. He beat the dog shit out of J-Rock. Do y'all think, you know, J-Rock just had an off night? Or do y'all think that Jason Rosario is really, you know, is he really the truth like that? Can he really come in there and upset Jermell Charlo? Or would it even be an upset? KG Alexander said, we calling this shit COVID capping 2020. He said that COVID capping 2020. That's just what that is. He says, with this Twitter fingers and real serious the last 2 months. That's real shit. Hey, KG, I feel you. They've been COVID capping, you know, real tough now these last 2 months. That's real shit. I couldn't agree more with you. Now, I mean, not only that, now Gervonta Tank Davis, he's saying that he'll break down Lomachenko and stop him within 8 or 9 rounds. I mean, my memory is not the best. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't have the best memory, but I do remember Gervonta Tank Davis, his energy was not like that when Lomachenko's name was brought up in the past. It wasn't like that. Let's just keep it real. But that's one of the other examples of all these cats changing up ever since this COVID-19 stuff has, you know what I'm saying, went down. Mr. Finesse, salute. What it do? Cleo Floyd says Rosario isn't ready. Charlo will stop him. He says J-Rock has a shaky chin. Facts. That's real. He says we all knew that going into this fight. He says Rosario is a big, young, strong fighter. He says, but I'm telling you, Charlo would hurt him. He says, and stop him. He says this is easier. This is an easier fight for Charlo than Harrison was. I feel you. I don't disagree with you, but I can't say I all the way agree with you because I'm gonna just be honest. I haven't seen enough of Jason Rosario to really call it. You know what I'm saying? Myself, I haven't seen him fight enough. You know, I only seen him fight that one time against J-Rock, and that's it. So before I can really make that call, I gotta go sit down and watch some more of his fights and see, you know, if it was a fluke or if he really, you know what I'm saying, if he really liked that, if he really built like that. Because what I was hearing is that, you know, he was having to take a lot of fights on short notice, you know, and, you know, stuff like that. And when you're the opponent, when you're not a big name, you know, you could take some L's in your career that's really not fair. You know, them calling you got to take a fight on 2 weeks notice. You ain't really got time to prepare and train. So it's a lot of elements that go into a lot of these fighters that come up, and we see it as a big we see these fights as a big upset, but they really ain't. These dudes just, you know, don't have a fair chance like a lot of these other fighters do, just because they promoter, just because they don't have a big name in the sport. So a lot of that, you know, a lot of those factors go into that. So before I make that call, I really would have to go back and, you know, watch some film on Jason Rosario. But we all know what Charlo is. We know what Charlo can do. We all know Charlo, you know, bring that business. Joseph Jackson off in the building. He says, Tank don't want that. Hey, man, it's really hard. It's really hard for me to believe Tank in a lot of these fighters, because like I said, they was not talking that same shit before all of this, before the pandemic happened. They weren't talking like that. Mr. Finesse says Rosario can punch, but will be there to be hit. That's a fact. I did see that. He says, and Charlo has excellent chin and great gas in the tank with power. He says, good unification fight. I want to see it. I want to see that fight right after he beat up J-Rock Julian Williams. That's the fight that I want to see. And I think that's the fight that everybody else wants to see. They want to see Charlo against Rosario in a unification bout. That's real, because, I mean, the way that he beat up J-Rock Julian Williams, it's really nobody that wants to see a rematch between them two except for J-Rock in his camp. You know what I'm saying? If that. And now J-Rock, he don't want the immediate rematch, which I think is smart of him. Because, I mean, that fight wasn't even close. Hey, KG Alexander says Tank must be on that ace of spades, or that Julio, that Don Julio 42. And he on something. You know what I'm saying? He on something, because, like I said, let's keep it 100, okay? You out here big capping, big talking about how you gonna stop Lomo in 8 or 9 rounds and break him down, right? But before, you didn't even want to mention his name. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it 100 with it. You didn't even want to mention his name before. Now, all of a sudden, you'll stop him in 8 or 9 rounds. But before, Tank Davis, you was talking about, oh, I'm still young and I still got, you know, he's old, you know, I don't need him right now. I'm still young. And you was talking all that shit. But now, ain't no boxing going on. Now you will all of a sudden stop him in 8 or 9 rounds. That shit, you know what I'm saying? But take a star, Mr. Fritz. But take a star. You know, we got a plan for Tank Davis. You know, we got a plan for Tank Davis and take a star. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, now you changing up. Now you all of a sudden gonna stop him? Because when I hear, me personally, I don't speak for nobody else. I speak for myself. When I hear a man talking about, oh, well, you know, I'm young in the sport and you know, he's older and he's all this, and that. When I hear all of that shit, I don't even really hear none of that shit, because all of that comes out to me as, nah, I ain't really ready to fight him. I'm not confident that I can beat him. So I don't really want to fight him right now. That's what that shit translates to me as. But now all of a sudden, first of all, you not even going to, you fight him next or anytime soon is a very slim chance. And Tank Davis knows that himself. Okay? So why aren't you talking about Leo Santa Cruz? Because everybody know that's the fight that you're going to fight next. Why aren't you talking about stopping and knocking out Leo Santa Cruz? You know why? Because in the back of your mind, you're not worried about Leo Santa Cruz because you know that you're going to knock out Leo Santa Cruz, or you think you're going to knock out Leo Santa Cruz, whatever it may be. So Leo Santa Cruz ain't really on Tank Davis's mind, you know. And I know we switched it up. We was talking, but you know, I had to get into this because you know people was talking about Tank in the comment section. So, but you ain't really worried about Leo Santa Cruz. You worried about, you know, if you ever have to step in there with Lomo any time. So, you know, I don't believe you. I really don't believe you. You know, and I know a lot of brothers gonna get mad about this because, you know, a lot of people big Tank fans. And I'm a Tank fan. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Tank fan, but I'm not a huge Tank fan just because of the simple fact is I don't really like all of that Facebook, you know, that Twitter talking, and you ain't really got in the ring and fought nobody yet. You know what I'm saying? But I know all of it ain't his fault. All of it ain't his fault. Maybe I just don't really like how TMT is promoting him. I don't really like how the TMT, you know, how Mayweather and TMT, how they, you know, promoting in the plan that they have for Tank Davis, because, you know, I'm like this. If you telling me that he's the best fighter in the world, right? If you telling me all this, and that, why do you have a plan? Because if he's the best fighter in the world and you really believe that, I'm thinking that you would have no problem with putting him in the ring with some of these other heavy hitters, because you know that if he beats them with no problem, like you saying, because he's the best fighter in the world, you know if Tank Davis beats these guys with no problem, that's only going to grow his fan base and grow his legacy and his star much bigger than what it already is. Imagine that. If he go out there and beat a lot of these guys that he been talking about. Imagine if he go out there and beat Lomachenko. Do you know how big Tank Davis would be? First of all, he probably would move to number one pound for pound without a shadow of a doubt. And he already has a huge fan base. He's a huge star. But I mean, how much bigger would he be? But see, the thing is, I don't think y'all fully committed to him and y'all really don't believe in him like that, because you know that if you fuck around and put him in the ring with one of these other, you know, heavy hitters, these other top dogs, the guy that you saying is the best fighter, Tank Davis, the best fighter in the world. You know what I'm saying? The best fighter in the world might take an L, and then you might not be able to say that no more. And then his star power might go down. But like I said, that's not what I'm saying. But that's what you showing me, that you really don't believe in this dude. Because if you got a fighter that you know is the best, that you really believe in, you are willing to put that fighter in the ring with anybody, because you know that fighter will, you know what I'm saying, bring the smoke. He wants to smoke with everybody, and he willing to beat everybody, and he will beat everybody. That's just how I see it. John Kramer, what's good with it? Salute. Brandon Houseoff in the building. Salute. James M. Johnson says Lomo ain't ready for a big puncher. I don't know. How can we say that? Lomo has been in the ring with big punchers. I mean, y'all must have forgot. I mean, did y'all forget? I mean, Lomo, he was in the ring with what's his name was a huge puncher. The Jamaican dude that he fought. What's the Jamaican that was knocking everybody out? J Cool Miles says, how can Crawford be number one? Hey, you got the same question I do, but that's a whole nother subject right there. So I mean Walters, yeah, Nicholas Walters, Mr. Finesse, yeah, Nicholas Walters. That's just one of the heavy hitters that Lomo was in. Y'all forgetting. See, y'all, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I fuck with Lomo because he proved to me early on that Lomo is a beast. I don't give a fuck what y'all say about him, how y'all feel about him. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker's a beast. Nicholas Walters. You gonna tell me that Nicholas Walters wasn't a heavy hitter? Nicholas Walters was dominating in you know what I'm saying, everybody he got in the ring with. That was a heavy hitter. Look, we all know who Gary Russell Jr. is. Did y'all forget how Lomachenko dominated Gary Russell Jr.? Gary Russell Jr., I don't give a fuck what nobody say. This is my opinion. It's top 10 pound for pound. Gary Russell Jr. is a fucking beast. Okay? And Lomo whooped Gary Russell. And I hate to say this because Gary Russell is one of my favorite fighters. And Gary Russell, I like Gary Russell more than I do Lomachenko. But I got to keep it real. He made Gary Russell look like a shell of himself when he fought Gary Russell. You know? So let's not forget. Mr. Finesse, as he says, I think Lomo's overrated, but he can definitely fight, no question. I mean, how is he overrated? I mean, look at the guys that he's beat, and then don't nobody want to give him credit for beating. Don't nobody want to give him credit for beating Guillermo Rigondeaux. Don't nobody want to give him credit for beating Rigondeaux, right? But Rigondeaux was calling him out, right? And everybody was saying that he was afraid of Rigondeaux before that fight. So the same people that don't want to give him credit for Rigondeaux is the same ones that were saying that he was scared to fight Rigondeaux before they fought. Now, yeah, Rigondeaux is a lot smaller than him, okay? But you wanted to smoke. Ain't nobody forced you in the ring with Lomachenko. You was the one calling him out. So what's the problem? What's the problem? If I go around the corner and pick a fight with a motherfucker and get my ass whooped, I can't cry and say, oh, well, he was bigger than me when I started the fight. So what is we doing here? What is the problem? He started the shit and Lomo finished it. So you got to give him credit. It ain't no he was too small. Now, if Lomo was calling him out, knowing that he's too small, then that would have been a different story. But let's not act like we got amnesia here, you know? Because like I said, my memory ain't the best, but, you know, it worked well enough to remember that. Hold on. J. Cool Miles says Linares has power. He says Lomo beat him down. He said that's a fact. And Lomo beat him with a torn shoulder. And these are not excuses that I'm making up for the man. These are just facts. Okay? You know what I'm saying? These are facts. Whether you like them or not, I'm speaking the facts. He says the Axeman Walters got that work. He says Russell Jr. got beat as well. Yeah, I mean, he beat all of them dudes. He the real deal. So how can you not give him all of his credit? Whether you see him as pound for pound number one or not. But you can't tell me that Terence Crawford's pound for pound number one and then turn around with the same fucking lips and tell me that Lomachenko don't deserve it. Because, I mean, I'm a resume guy. Mr. Finesse says, because he ain't better than Floyd, he ain't the best fighter since Ali. Nah. Okay, Mr. Finesse, when I hear guys say that he's better than Floyd, or he's the best fighter since Ali, I don't even hear that shit, because you know why? That's what a promoter is supposed to say. You know, they supposed to. I mean, that's what they gonna say if you. But I don't. Does anybody believe that? I mean, come on now. Don't nobody really believe that. So when you were saying that he was overrated, that didn't even cross my mind. You know, with people saying that, because that's some bullshit. I don't even. You know, I don't even give that no thought. Cleo Floyd says, I think Lomo's overrated, but a great fighter. He says, I see him getting beat soon, though. These young bulls, he says, ain't no joke. Excuse me. He says, Haney is going to be hard to beat. Tank always has a puncher's chance. Shakur is primed to be the next great defensive fighter. Now, I feel you. I feel like I mean, I hear what you're saying. I feel what you're saying. But at the end of the day, we can't take nobody off their throne until somebody come and prove it. Now, when somebody comes and proves it, right? When somebody come in there and beats Lomachenko and prove it, then we can say that. But ain't nobody did it yet. So, I mean, everything else is speculation. When one of these young dudes can come in there and give him a hell of a fight and beat him, or give him a fight to where it's, you know, where we like, okay, it was a 50-50 fight. People got split, you know, people are split in between who won the fight between, you know, the two fighters. Then we might can say that. But until then, we can't say that. I'm not gonna take your crown from you if you ain't never been beat before. I just can't do it, you know. And you've proven to me by the opponents that you faced in the past that you really that guy, you know. But of course, I never seen him as good as Mayweather, because you can't tell me that a guy with 13, 14 wins in the professional ranks is good as Mayweather. But he is the truth. And everybody, you know, take this time out right now to go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Everything Boxing and Sports on YouTube. You'll see my logo, Everything Boxing and Sports on YouTube, and hit my like button, because it don't even take 1 second to hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? And it don't cost shit. I ain't asking y'all to donate to nothing. All I'm asking you to do is go subscribe to the channel, Everything Boxing and Sports on YouTube, and hit the like button. That's it. James M. Johnson says Rigo couldn't get a fight at his weight. Yeah, but that's not the point. He had been calling out Lomachenko, and he got what he asked for. KG Alexander says Rigo was a little shaky to me. The fight, he says, to me, the fight two fights before, okay, that coming up in weight. He says we knew that was his biggest test in his career to date with Lomo. Laugh out loud. He says I knew how that shit was going down. Yeah, it was gonna go. Yeah, I knew how I was gonna go too. I actually won. I think I won. I bet my partner, we had we bet like two or 3,000 on that fight. And yeah, I tried to take, cause he bet on Rigo. I was like, man, Rigo's not about to beat Lomachenko. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, cause at that point in time, kind of like what you were saying, KG, Rigo wasn't really looking too impressive to me. His fights leading up to that Lomachenko fight, he just wasn't. He wasn't looking too impressive to me leading up to the fight with Lomachenko, you know? And a lot of the fights, people don't remember, a lot of the fights he was fighting, you know, getting 12-round decisions, but he was putting you to sleep. I ain't gonna lie. I've fallen asleep on a few of Rigo's fights. I remember he fought on the undercard. I think he fought on the undercard of, what was it? I think, was it Klitschko against, did he fight on the undercard of Klitschko against Tyson Fury? Was it that? It was one of them undercards he fought on, and it was a party going on, right? They turned all the lights off. We watching the fight. We make everybody get quiet. Rigo fighting. We watching the fight. And I literally fell asleep. So I mean, yeah. Draco Bay off in the building. Salute. Hey, they say, you know what I'm saying? They say certain people run when they hear Draco Bay's name. They say people run when they hear Draco Bay's name, but you know that's a whole different story in itself. But salute to my brother Draco Bay off in the building. And I say Draco on purpose, you know what I'm saying? Because they say he come with that hammer. You know what I'm saying? They say he come with that hammer. He got a hammer. He got hammers in his fist. That's what they say. But yeah, salute to my boy Draco Bay. Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on, okay? Let's go ahead and move on. Y'all give me one quick second. Let me do something right here before we move on, because like I said, we just getting started and we still got a whole lot to cook on. We still got a whole lot to cook on. So let me see. But yeah, as far as all of them dudes that you name, as far as all of them guys that you name, Cleo, to me, I'm okay. I'm gonna break them. To me, it's two names that really stand out to me when you name. Let me go back up to your comment. Let me put the comment on here so everybody can see, and I'm gonna just cook on that. Oh yeah, let me link my y'all give me a second. I'm gonna link my partner. Money Brown TV is off in the building. I'm finna send Money Brown the link. And then I'm gonna get to cooking. I'm gonna continue to cook. Give me a second. Y'all bear with me real quick here. Okay, there you go. There you go, Money. I sent the link. Now, like I was saying, let me see where my partner Cleo. Okay, there it is right there. Now, let's go back to the comment that my partner Cleo Floyd said. He says, I think Lomo's overrated, but a great fighter. He says, I see him getting beat soon, though. He says, the young bulls ain't no joke, right? He says, Haney is going to be hard to beat. Tank always has a great puncher's chance. And Shakur Stevenson is the next great defensive fighter. I see Shakur Stevenson as more than the next great defensive fighter. But let's go ahead and get into that comment before we move on. Let me bring my partner Money Brown TV off in the building. Salute Money Brown TV off in the building. What it is.
My bro, Ken, I would have been on, bro. I had two little motherfucking jail calls going on, though.
Oh, you good? You good?
What's going down, champ? Chilling.
Oh man, we just in here cooking, just in here cooking. Everybody go subscribe to Money Brown TV. If you're not already a subscriber, go subscribe to Money Brown TV on YouTube. It is MONNIE. Okay, Money Brown TV on YouTube. Now, back to what my partner Cleo Floyd said. Okay, two of those names stick out to me. Is Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. Those are the two names that really stick out to me. A lot of people would say Tank Davis, but me and Money, we go back and forth with it on Tank Davis all the time, and we disagree. But the two names that stick out to me is Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, right? And the reason why is because Shakur Stevenson, to me, is the next fighter out of everybody that I've seen that could be the next Floyd Mayweather. With his skills and his work ethic, right? With his skills and work ethic, he's the next. If anybody gonna be the next Floyd Mayweather, and you can see it in him now, it's Shakur Stevenson. I mean, to me, he's levels above all of these other fighters with just the things that he can do in the ring at such a young age. So to me now, and Devin Haney to me, I know for a fact, and I'm not gonna get into none of these guys' personal business, right? But Devin Haney has the best focus, work ethic out of all of these fighters, all these young fighters. I mean, Devin Haney, he don't drink, he don't smoke. And I'm not saying that he's the only fighter that don't drink or don't smoke and none of that, but I'm saying that Devin Haney, the focus that he has is he has the focus like Mayweather had when Mayweather was coming up. And I can't say that about, too many of these other fighters coming out. Before we move on, Money Brown, you got anything to add to on that?
For as them being threats to beat Lomachenko?
Yeah.
Well, like I say, you gotta add Gervonta Davis now, even Teofimo Lopez in the mix. Because I like Devin Haney, bro. I like Devin Haney, one smooth boxer. But Devin ain't really fought that main fighter yet where we can say he like that, even though he chasing everybody. So you gotta give him credit for, what I'm saying, going out there trying to get the best versus the best. And like I say with Shakur, I agree 100%. Shakur to me is the leader of the new school. I feel like he the best talent out of all the young fighters, in my opinion. I feel like he, like with his defense and his IQ, I do feel like he like for skill wise and talent wise, he the best. But Gervonta Davis is the star, and you can't sleep on his power. You can't sleep on Teofimo power. And I feel like it's gonna be the power to really offset Lomachenko motherfucking ass once he feel that real shit. But you gotta give Lomachenko his credit as well, because that motherfucker a dog, man. We get caught up in the hype and shit on how these motherfuckers try to rate these fighters for ESPN and Bob Arum trying to say better than Muhammad Ali with all this stupid ass talk. And sometimes we'll let the fans, we'll let other people, like for instance, us as you as a Gary Russell fan, me as a Gervonta Davis fan, Errol Spence fan, shit like that. Sometimes people start hating fighters because of their fan base and then the hype they get. So we can't be doing that shit to Lomachenko because we know what they're trying to do to him, even though this shit ain't true. Never be better than Muhammad Ali. But at the same time, when you look at that white motherfucker, he can fight his ass off. He's skillful as fuck. So you got to give a man credit for what he is in the ring, and not try to downplay him, because when one of these fighters do knock his ass off, that means they get what they deserve and the credit they deserve. But for us looking at them guys beating Lomachenko, I give all them young bucks a chance, man. We got to look at Lomachenko getting up there in age. Like I say, every time he fights somebody that got a high skill set, we see something different in his chink. I mean, a different chink in his arm. But somebody always exploits something different, even though he get the W. But somebody always exploits something different, and we're seeing his ass going through war. That shit start rubbing off on your ass. And sooner or later, if you're trying to just continue to go through wars, you're gonna meet that one motherfucker that got that, like Gervonta at 10 female, that's gonna sit you on your ass. But nonetheless, I give Lomachenko his credit, man. I ain't gonna say he don't slouch none of that shit. He could arguably be the pound for pound number one fighter. I won't take that from him. But with these young bucks, I give all they as a shot to beat Lomachenko. They all hungry dogs, you know what I mean? They all want the spotlight. So, I don't knock none of them. Three of them, matter of fact, all four of them champions. Shit. Shakur, Teofimo, Tank, and Devin Haney, all of them champions. So you damn sure I give all of them a shot to beat his ass. So we'll see when Boxer come back, see what type of energy Bob Arum got. Because right now I heard him talking about fucking tune-ups for Teofimo and fucking Lomachenko when they shouldn't even need no tune-up. They should stay their ass in shape. You know what I'm saying? But we go figure it out. Go see what's up.
Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree with nothing you say. I mean, like I said, we got different point of views, on a lot of this stuff. To me, I just can't. When it comes to Tank Davis, I cannot put my money into a guy that's that undisciplined, a guy that's already that young and having problems making weights. When you move up, you still having problem making weight, and a guy that tells me that I only train when I only train, you know what I'm saying, when it's time for training camp. So if I don't fight that year, I don't train that year. I don't go to the gym. You know, I can't do it.
The thing with
Do
that,
it.
them the
Y'all can
words,
do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm
them the
not
words,
gonna put
them
my
the words
faith
of
in
a young
nobody.
kid, y'all.
Huh?
I say them the words of a young kid. See, Tank, he can get away with it because he's still young. Now I know. Wait a minute, let me finish. I know what you're saying. When you're a champion, you're in the game. Yes, you're supposed to be disciplined, this, that, and third. But Tank, 24, 25 years of age to the point where he, like, even though y'all saying he undisciplined and this, that, and third, he's still at an age where he can burn that shit off because he's still young. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like it caught up with him. So to him, it's not really resonate because he like, shit, I'm doing this, I can get it off. But yeah, that is a knock where you can say people say this and that, but you can't knock the skill level on the kid. So once he get it together, and it seems like he is getting it together, because right now he in boxing shape and understanding what it is, and it looked like he about to fight at 130. So it looked like it is resonate to him, resonate with him. So, but Tank is the motherfucker that once he put it all together, he the best dude out there, bro. Once he put it all together with the power and the boxing skills, the footwork and shit like that, and he got to show it, but he still got time to show everything. You know, Tank gonna surprise a lot of motherfuckers, man, because Tank can do it all. Like, people just see him with the power and, him doing certain things, so they look at that and it take away from him. But Gervonta Davis, another one, man, he can do it all, man. When you put it all together, like when Kevin Cunningham had his ass in shape against motherfucking Jesus Cuellar, when taking that type of shape and that focus, man, that dude a bad motherfucker and he's scary, man. That man a bad man and he's scary, but he got to prove it to you. I understand that. I ain't trying to rub him off on you. You gonna have your way of thinking anyway. But just when if he do it, just give the kid the credit he deserves, bro.
I mean, okay, this is the thing with me and Tank, all right? Cause I know it might seem like, oh, I don't like Tank and this and that. This is the thing with Tank. I was a huge Tank fan, right? I felt that Tank was everything that Leonard Ellaby was saying, or he could be everything that Leonard Ellaby was saying. Tank is the best fighter in the world. I mean, we got a plan for Tank. Oh, don't worry about Tank. We got a plan for Tank.
You know what I'm saying? Tank's a song.
I mean, I was believing all of that shit. Tank Davis was, you know what I'm saying? I was breaking my neck to see him fight. And then when I continue to see him fight, I don't want to call nobody a bum, because to be a fighter, you know what I'm saying, I think that's kind of disrespect, but continue to fight lower level opposition after lower level opposition after lower level opposition, and on and on and on, right? And then continue to do that when you got this guy calling you out, you got everybody calling you out, but you ain't fighting them, right? And then when you do go into these fights, you showing that you undisciplined, you showing that you can't make weight, right? Outside of the ring, you got distraction. I don't get into nobody personal business, but you got all these different things you doing outside the ring. And then what was the final, the thing that was the final straw with final break with me was when he got on the interview and admitted that he don't go to the gym and work on his craft until he has a training camp. That didn't sit right with me, because I seen another guy that had all of the skills that everybody was talking about, that had knockout power at that weight class, that was knocking motherfuckers out, that, had all of the skills, the charisma, everything. And his name was Adrien Broner. And Adrien Broner said the same thing at one point to when he got to a certain level in his career. And he says, I don't train until training camp comes around. And we see him blow up You know what I'm saying? Walking around with no neck, all shoulders, blowing up to 190 pounds. You know what I'm saying? When you was 135-pound fighter. We seen that happen with AB. So, you know what I'm saying? And I don't like to link them together because I think they got two different fighting styles and two different skill sets.
Right. I was about to say they two different.
They two different people. But
I understand what you're saying, though.
But what I'm saying at the end of the day, if you're going to tell me this fighter is the best fighter in the world, right? If you want to get on the level of a Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, a Terence Crawford, you know what I'm saying? Errol Spence, even though we've seen Errol Spence admit that he wasn't as focused and that he got off of his square, you know, a bit, you know what I'm saying? But he was still getting the W's, right? But if you want to put him in the category with the rest of these guys, even Charlo's and the rest of these guys, you can't sit up here and tell me that you don't continue, that you 24, 25 years old, 23, you know what I'm saying? Because he's been doing it for, this ain't just something that's just happened. We talking about the last 3 years, okay? Let's say the last 3 years since 2017, 2016 maybe, okay? You can't tell me that you got to a certain point at that young of an age and now you like, okay, well, fuck it. I don't need to practice on my craft no more. All I need to do is go into training camp and focus on getting focus on losing all this weight because I'm fighting at 130 pounds, but I'm walking around 185 pounds. So all I need to do is focus on making weight. No, you can't do that because once you get to that upper echelon, that fucking talent that you have is not going to win you fights. Yeah, you can win fights with the talent that you have when you fight in lower level opposition. And salute to my partner, Scotty White, off in the building. Go subscribe. Click on this link. Okay. Click on this link. World Combat Sports. Click on this link. Go subscribe to his channel. Great. He has great shows. He got great content and great shows. And he covered UFC and boxing. But like I said, you can't do that once you get to that upper echelon of competition because talent is only going to take you so far. So what you doing if you not continue to work on your craft? Because guys like Floyd Mayweather, right? Guys like Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, you know, just the best fighters that we've seen, they stayed in the gym and continue to get better, especially at a young age, especially when they was in their early 20s and mid 20s. They stayed in the ring and continue to get better. Now, what that does to you, if you not stand in the gym and continue to work on your skills, all that does is it keeps you at a certain level. It keeps you stagnant. So, yeah, you beating these guys off of your speed, athleticism, and power. But what's going to happen when you step in the ring with another guy that got speed, athleticism, and power, but he's steady working on his craft. He's steady in the gym, right? But when it's time for you to go in the gym, you got to focus on making weight, and you can't really focus on getting better in the ring. You got to go with what you already know. You can't really get no better because you focus on, you know, just tuning up, getting sharp, and losing weight. That's why I can't believe in Tank Davis. I don't believe. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't believe in him. I don't believe in him because once
you can go there with it, but at the end of the day, like I say, the kid he has time to make that up. That's what he's doing now, and hopefully he got it because right now, like I say, he in shape right now, fit to fight probably the second best or the best fighter that he's facing his career in Leo Santa Cruz at 130 pounds. So at the end of the day, you can say what you're saying and this, that, and the third, but Tank got time to make it up. That's what I'm saying. He only 25 years of age, 20, whatever his age is, and he a 2 divisions champion already, a 3-time champion, 2 division champion. People go discredit that, but at the end of the day, he got time to make it up. When you look at Errol Spence just hitting 30, Terence Crawford 32, if I'm not mistaken, Floyd and Andre Ward. Now, yes, you can hold them when you say you want to be great, those are standards that you do want to meet the criteria for a standing shape, and that's real shit being in this boxing game, because we know boxing is a different animal. But at the end of the day, if you go discredit him because you're saying because of the weight, that's something that he
No,
can.
but
Like,
I said because of his discipline.
no, I know, but the discipline part is the weight. That's the only thing about it with Tank, keeping your ass in shape. And like we say, we don't talk about the outside the ring shit. That's grown man shit. You get that shit together. But nonetheless, Tank only discipline is the weight. When he coming in, and we all know when you trying to make weight, sometimes you do get away from the game plan. But like I say, now that he knowing that he's going up against the best competition, like I say, Leo Santa Cruz is a hell of a fighter. You know, future Hall of Famer, 3 division world champion, trying to make it 4. So we see Tank in the gym. We seeing his ass get ready, and if he make this 130 pounds, it's gonna show. It's gonna show that he been disciplined, and I got faith that he is gonna make it. But nonetheless, bro, let me say, but once you're going up against the top talent, it forces your ass to get ready. It forces you to get in shape. It forces you to stay ready. Sometimes you can slip off when you having fights where you know, like a Gamboa, and this is no knock on Gamboa, but we know where the age he at, where he at, and you're in Atlanta with all the stars and all this shit going on, and you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you slip off when you're a young kid, you got millions of dollars, pussy coming everywhere at you, the kids and shit like that. Your mind do slip. You wonder a little bit. You coming from the ghetto to all this shit, you slip up, like Earl say. It's kind of hard getting up off motherfucking silk sheets like they got from the Marvin Hagler quote. And when you're young like that, you're around the crowds that you're around and shit, and your name is what it is now. You big dog now. You get sidetracked sometimes, and it'd be hard for young motherfuckers. Everybody ain't got tunnel vision like Floyd, Andre Ward. Don't get me wrong. Not saying that you shouldn't have it, but sometimes like you get sidetracked with this new generation. I mean, with this new age generation of kids and these fighters and shit. But like I say, he haven't lost yet. In the ring, even though he knocked Gamboa out in the 12, people like to say he struggled with Gamboa. It was no struggle though. He whipped his ass almost the whole 12. Gamboa did hit him with some shit. It's boxing. But nonetheless, the kid got time to make it up, bro. That's what I'm saying. If he was going to his 30s or shit like that, like, oh man, you done fucked up, then I could see. But like, he still got time to make it up. And he fit a face Leo Santa Cruz. They look like in September. You know what I mean? So that's gonna show. That's gonna show. And after he beat Leo ass and knock him out, I want you to give him his credit. And then we'll see what moves he make after that.
Man, everybody know he should knock Leo out. But before not even getting into that, right? I'm gonna say this, okay? But this is how I'm gonna say before I even close, because we gotta move on. But I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna get through these comments, and then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next subject. But this is all I gotta say. If you this young now, you 25 years old, 26 years old, you know, however old he is right now. What's the most money you think that he's made in his career as of to now? What you think?
I can't really say what the bank account look like. I know he got some millions.
Okay, say he didn't say the most that I don't know. This is just speculation. Say the most that he's made is, let's say, 3 million. It could be more, it could be less. I don't know.
More than 3 million.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying what he's made. I'm just saying this is just speculation.
The boy wearing a cool .1 something on his neck and wrist, so I know he made over 3 million.
I mean, I'm just saying. Okay, let's say that. Okay, and then right, he come and you know he get a mega pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Let's say the pay-per-view between him and Leo Santa Cruz really put him out, and now he got, you know what I'm saying, he didn't make 10, 15 mil. Right now. He got 5 times more money than he had before, you know. Now he got a huge, a way larger fan base than what he had before. Now he was a man before, but now everybody want to be around him because they didn't see him on pay-per-view. He that star. He really that star, right? Do you think after all that, you ain't even got to answer the question. I don't even want you to answer the question. I'm going to just say this to close out. Do you think after having all of that all of a sudden it's going to click and he going to get more discipline than what he was when he had $3 million? Now he got 20 mil. You think that's all of a sudden going to make him more disciplined?
You don't know. You can't.
Like I said,
you don't know.
But I'm gonna just end it like that. But let me see.
You can't throw that out there like that. Just gonna make him go crazy too much. You gonna end it like that, bro. You don't know. You can't script the look.
Me and you, this is what we gonna do. Me and you gonna have a, cause I know me and you always go back on this situation. So me and you, we gonna do we just gonna do a whole show dedicated to that, because me and you could go on and on about this whole situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, right. But don't try to paint him out like he can't get right there and strike out.
I'm just saying, what's the chances? You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Let me see. Let me get through some of these comments. KG Alexander has said that Shakur set to be the next GOAT, point blank period. Yeah, I do agree, but Shakur, he got to do the same thing that I'm saying for Tank and the rest of these dudes. You know, we see through the years, we seen the guys that we could have seen that could have been better than Floyd, better than Andre Ward, but they didn't have one thing. They did not have the discipline. You know what I'm saying? So we got to see. But yeah, as far as what we see from him now, without a shadow of a doubt, if you ask me, Draco Bay says Haney beats them all next year. He says Tank can beat Lomo right now. He says he's just has to be mentally prepared. Hey,
all facts, Draco, all facts.
Let me see. Brandon House says Shakur got game. He says Shakur got the game in the bag. Him and Haney going to end up at the end like Hagler and Hearns. I think we would all love to see that. He also says I got Teofimo over Lomachenko, but Lomachenko gonna pull it. He says I got Teofimo beating Lomachenko, but Lomachenko going to pull it out. What you mean that Lomachenko gonna get a gift decision? I think that's what I take from that. Lincoln Rivera says I got Tank over Lomo. He also says by KO. Hey, that's a bold statement. But everybody opinion count, because I mean ain't nobody opinion. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's dumb that nobody's saying unless you coming over here saying that a 54-year-old man can beat, a top heavyweight, but that's a whole different discussion in itself. Now that's some ignorant shit.
Unless you got a crystal ball in your motherfucking
hand. J. Cool Miles says that Tank is overrated, hasn't fought a qualified fighter. He says his bout against the old faded Gamboa was disgraceful. Hey, I agree with you on that, but you know what I'm saying? I don't want money to go off on me. Hey, let me see who else, man. We got a lot of people putting in comments. My bad. I'm we was cooking up, so I'm back on the comments. Salute to Scotty White once again. My boy Ralph Estrada off in the building. He says Tank not a 2-division champion. He says and Lomo is a real champ at 135. Oh shit. He says Tim Johnson says salute to EBT and Money Brown. What's good with you?
Salute to my bro Tim Johnson. Salute to Draco and everybody else.
Draco Bay off in the building. KG Alexander says he says talk that talk, nigga. Everybody has their vices. That's life, but niggas. He said, but nigga, God-given talent can keep you relevant in this conversation of top 5 to 10. He says, giving your life to the sport and perfecting the craft is what makes you a real legend, which is why I fuck with Shakur Haney, because they understand what it takes to be great. I feel you. James Benitez says Tank struggled with Gamboa like Errol struggled with Mikey. What? I can't even read no more of that. It was hold the fuck up. Hey,
question.
He said Errol. Hey man, I'm gonna keep going on.
Was he being sarcastic or some shit?
Maybe he was. He said Tank struggled with. Maybe he was being sarcastic. He says Tank struggled with Gamboa like Errol struggled with Mike. He said, was it even a question of the outcome? Okay, I feel you. I
think he's being sarcastic.
I feel you. I thought at first I'm like, hold on, man. I know he ain't being serious.
Yeah, got to showing up at the chat, champ.
John Kramer says close to 8 mil. I think he's talking about Tank Davis. I don't know what the man made. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna count the man pocket, but I was just, putting something out there. He's KG Alexander says, excuse me. He says, and 26 ain't no damn kid when you've been boxing damn near your whole fucking life. He says, bro, that's excuses, especially when you got old heads around you. Hey, shit. I mean, I feel you. That's real shit.
Man, when 26.
Look at some of what these other dudes are doing at 26.
Yeah, but when you're 26, you got time to get the weight off. Everybody will tell you when they was in their 20s, bro, you can get away with some certain shit that you can't get away with in your 30s, bro. So
but if you don't say it ain't no kid. If you continue to having to cut 50, 40, 50 pounds, that shit's gonna catch up with you.
Man, y'all got Tank off balance twice, and he only missed weight once. He came back and made the shit off little smidges. Ain't like they came in 3 pounds or 4 pounds over, nigga, a pound or a half a pound over, and he made the shit.
I ain't even really talking. I'm just saying what we see this nigga walking around at when he ain't fighting. You know what I'm saying? We seen it. But I mean, that's like I said, we could go on about that all day. But
go ahead and finish up with the comments.
Yeah, Trevin Simmons checking in. What's good with you? Cesar off in the building. He says David's discipline is trash. He got a lot of yes men that freeload off of him. He said that's only going to take him so far until he loses. Then the tables and friendships will change. Henny Gomez says, yo, what's good? What's good with it? Darian Gray off in the building. He says, I can't see Tank fighting past 30. He says he's short and will be having major weight issues. Ralph Estrada says, let me see. Hold, I lost it. Okay, Ralph Estrada says, what fight was you watching? He struggled against my. Okay, yeah. See, everybody, I think that James Benitez was just basically being sarcastic when he said that shit. Brandon House says it might not be. He says it might not be. It might not. He says getting older the same time. It might register to him once he gets 15 mil. It could have a different effect, but I mean, like I said, I wouldn't put my money on it. Everybody go subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Everything Boxing and Sports Talk. Okay, Everything Boxing and Sports. All right, and go subscribe to Money Brown TV. You know what I'm saying? It only take a second. So go over to YouTube and go subscribe to the channels. Trevin Simmons says Gary Russell over both of them. Man, Money Brown know how I fuck with Gary Russell. Tough. I
gonna knock Gary ass out.
All right. I hear you though. Hey, Gary Russell gonna make him look like a fool in that ring. I'm telling you, Gary Russell. Hey, don't sleep on Gary. Chris Mitchell off in the building. What's good, fam? James Benitez that made the comment about Errol Spence Jr., Mikey Garcia, and whatnot. He says, yo, I wrote it wrong. He says, I mean, like Tank thoroughly dragged Gamboa. He says it was like watching Errol drag Mikey. Okay, so everybody see that, you know, yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and go back into the, you know, these next comments, okay? Let's go. I mean, let's go into this next subject. My bad. Hey, but before I even get into that, what y'all think about the commentating? Okay, because I be hearing the commentating on PBC, and a lot of that shit, if y'all really look at these fights, right, commentating make a difference. The commentators make a real difference. You know what I'm saying? And that dude, Ray Flores, I don't want to hate on Ray Flores, but man, when he be sounding hella boring. Well, you know, Errol Spence Jr. here. Robot. Yeah, like, you know, we have Errol Spence Jr. here, and you know, we have him leading up. Everybody wants to see him fight Terence Bud Crawford, but if he fights Keith one time, Thurman is the fight that everybody has been waiting for. Nah, man, that shit be boring. Hey, huh?
Make it sound like a robot. We must know that when he come into a ring and like they trying to make the Hall of Fame as an announcer or some shit.
Hey, what we need in boxing, you know who we need in boxing?
Who is that, right? Bro?
We need Jim Ross in boxing, my dude. We need Jim Ross.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Errol Spence Terence, man down, man down. Oh my left hook. Now he hit Sean Porter. Oh my God! Errol Spence Terence on the other side of the pillow. Man down. Hey, that's what we need, dog. We need Jim Ross from the WWE.
Yeah.
That shit would be, hey, Jim Ross and man down. Oh my God. Left hook. Hey, imagine that shit, dog. Hey, Jim Ross in boxing, dog. Come on now, man. You know how you know the level that will bring boxing to, because I don't care what nobody say. If you watching boxing, the presentation and the commentators make a whole lot of difference. Because one thing I can say about HBO, right? Jim Lampley and them over there at HBO, they had that shit crunk. Even though I didn't like Jim like that, just their presentation. You know what I'm saying? How they call the fight.
Hyping the shit out them fighters.
Yeah, how they call the fights, it had you like really intrigued. Even if a fight was boring, it had you want to watch it more because of the presentation. Dude, Ray Flores and them dudes over in PBC, they have great fights over at PBC. But some of that commentary, man, be boring as hell.
I like Al Bernstein though, Keon. Bernstein good. Al Bernstein good.
Al Bernstein was the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Al Bernstein was the truth. You know what I'm saying? Who wouldn't want to see JR and Buck? Oh my God! Man down! Oh, left hook! Oh my God! Hey, everybody gonna want to see that. For real. My boy, let me see. Cassandra Mason off in the building. Dorian Gray says, y'all making fun of speech in Pyramid, shaking my head. Nah, man, I'm just saying that's just what he do. I ain't trying to make fun of the dude. I just said, hey, JR, Jim Ross is, but you know what? I'm gonna say one thing. I met Jim Ross, right? I went to a fight that like kind of like an exhibition fight that Roy Jones Jr. had, and it was out in Phoenix, right? Roy Jones Jr. He put on a UFC / boxing card, right? And so I'm in the bathroom. Washing my hands, and first, what's his name? The UFC fighter. Damn, man, what's his name? Damn, I can't think of his damn name now. Quinn Rampage Jackson. First, Rampage walked in the bathroom. Rampage was a beast. First, Rampage walked in the bathroom, and I'm like, oh, what's good? And he cool as hell. He talking to me, he cool. He hella cool. After, Rampage leaves out, and Jim Ross walks in the bathroom. So I'm like, man, what's up, man? I'm I spoke to him like, hello, like, man, I'm a big fan of you, all growing up. And like, he just looked at me and kind of like gave me like a funny look and walked right past me and didn't really say anything. So he an asshole. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I got from him.
Rampage Jackson?
No, not Rampage. Rampage was cool. Jim Ross. Jim Ross came in the bathroom after Rampage walked out. Jim Ross walked in, and I spoke to Jim Ross, and I'm like, hey, man, damn, man, like, I've been a big fan of you, all growing up. And he just kind of looked at, he didn't say shit. He just looked at me like, you know what I'm saying, like, kind of like looked down on me and like kept walking. And so he an asshole, you know what I'm saying? That's what I got from him. He an asshole. He probably prejudiced, I've heard a lot of stories from back in the 80s and the early 90s that he is a racist, but that's a whole different story. But besides all that, Jim Ross, if we got somebody like Jim Ross in the boxing, man, that would take boxing to a whole new level. Think about that, how they call WWE. Imagine if we had somebody that could call boxing like Jim Ross called WWE. What you think about that, Money? Money, you on mute.
Say it one more again, bro.
I said, imagine if we had somebody like Jim Ross, right, in the sport of boxing that could call the sport of boxing like he calls WWE.
You just gotta make sure he calling the right fight. Because if you get him in a boxing match and the motherfucker's a chess match and he doing all that shit, people gonna be telling his ass to shut the fuck up. But nonetheless, having somebody like with the energy.
Yeah, that energy.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, bringing that energy to keep like it's entertaining. You got to have some entertaining like that. So even if the motherfucking match ain't entertaining, you got somebody still entertaining you with the commentary and shit, and that can make a boring fight entertaining as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So that type of shit it capture the fans. Like you need something to keep the audience attention. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people do click on some shit and they be sitting up there like, oh man, these motherfuckers ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? But they'll be off. And even the name by itself, Jim Ross, his name alone, you know what I'm saying, attracts you. You know, Jim Ross, that motherfucker used to wrestle. People just think he just a commentator. That motherfucker was a wrestler. He was a wrestler. So he know how to entertain, you know what I'm saying? So capturing the fans, keeping people entertained, and he'll bring a whole different set of eyes to the sport. You know what I'm saying? He'll bring a whole different set of eyes. But when you talk about boxing, they go talk about the pugilism of boxing. So they're not gonna get you if you can't, you know what I'm saying, understand the sport. Now, is Jim Ross a boxing fan? That's what it's going to come down to. You know what I'm saying? Would he rather do MMA or boxing? He looked like the type that probably rather do MMA, but he got to come down to, is his ass, could he call the fight right? Because you don't want to get him talking about shit and that he, you know what I'm saying, you screaming shit.
I mean, they can have him, you know what I'm saying? They can line him up with the other commentators, and when some shit pop off, you know what I'm saying? When say, hey, down! Oh my God! Oh my God! 10 down! You know what I'm saying? He can just come in, you know what I'm saying, out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying, and have shit hyped up. He ain't got him
for the big shot. Got him for the big shot.
Big shot!
Yeah, big shot.
Oh my God! He's hitting like he got bricks in his gloves. Oh my God! You know what I'm saying? He can just come in there off some shit like that, like my man T-Rex 6431 say, good God Almighty, he's broken in half. Hey, that shit will be hella lit though. Hey, that shit will be. Hey,
it can't hurt. It can't hurt. I'm gonna say that it can't hurt, bro. I'm talking about like the captivate, the keep them motherfucker, and then you know what else though? Keon motherfuckers be waiting for the big shot too. Hurry him get the screaming that shit.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That would be. Imagine if Jim Ross had been on that commentary panel when Errol Spence called Sean Porter with that left hook.
Oh man.
Man, that shit, nigga. Hey, come on. Oh, left hook. Man down.
Especially when that boy look. Oh, when Wilder knocking these motherfuckers out.
Oh my God. Let him commentate a Wilder fight.
For real.
Come on now, dog. He ain't, that's what I'm saying. He ain't even got to do too much. He ain't got to do too much. He just got to be on there, you know what I'm saying, to get crunk when the crunk needed. You know,
Drico say Jim Lampley, Larry Merchant, Bob Costa, Roy Jones, Harold Letterman. I like Harold Letterman. Rest in peace to Harold Letterman. I like Roy. Like I said, I like Jim Lampley on some shit. Larry Merchant got too old, but he was cool. I like Bob Costa too. But I still like Al Bernstein, my guy, though. Al Bernstein, my guy. I like Ray Flores as well.
I don't like Ray Flores. You talking about the Mexican dude.
The Mexican, yeah, Ray Flores, he can call a good fight. I like him.
He too boring to me because he be, you know what I'm saying? Well, Errol Spence Jr., you know, today we're here with Keith one-time Thurman today. And
Sergio cool.
Thurman is like, he just be like, man, like dude sound like a robot.
Sergio Moore cool too. And even though I hate this little mother because he's turned into a little chump ass, punk ass motherfucker now, Paulie Malignaggi has do a good job too.
Paulie go hard, but fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
Paulie in anything he stand for.
Yeah,
try to say that systematic racism doesn't exist. It's all made up. Man, fuck a Paulie Malignaggi. And like I said, I used to rock with Paulie because Paulie funny. You know what I'm saying? He a funny dude.
Right.
Why you want to talk about my side piece? Quit talking about my side piece, bro.
You don't get laid.
You don't get
laid. You talking about my side piece. You don't get laid. Get your ass on.
Bro. What do you get laid like twice a year, bro? Quit talking about my side piece, bro. Stop talking about my side piece. This is my side piece.
Jessica. Jessica,
Hey.
what's my mother? Jessica, if we dated, what's my mother name, Jessica? Oh, mother.
That shit was classic.
Yeah. But even on it, see, that's why I look, y'all, and I ain't got nothing against Ness, but I just don't fuck with Ness. But even on that, he interviewing Jessica. So if you messing with Adrien Broner, then where do Miss Louis bag fall with it? Like, man, shut the fuck up with this, man. Like, you
that's some foul shit right
yeah,
there.
he gotta bring that. He talking about, so people want to know, are you and Adrien Broner close, or here you go tomorrow? So close, like she like, we just having fun. So if you guys just having
Try
fun,
to get that man caught up with his wife and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Louis bag. I'm like, she walked away. They like, man, come on, get away from this nigga.
He tried to throw, you know what I'm saying? He tried to throw fuel to the fire. You know, the man was already fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was already in trouble at home. And then he gonna try to throw fuel to the fire. Come on, man. Hey, but Ness, that's Ness. Ness gonna do that shit all day.
But did I tell you what he came into my inbox and said, Keon?
Nah. What Ness came into your inbox and said?
This nigga said, let me pull it up. This nigga gonna come to my inbox like a bitch ass nigga. And I ain't done with his ass though.
My one of my good homeboys, right? He actually, you know what I'm saying, worked with the boxing boy. He did work with the boxing boys, but then he got deployed. My partner Daniel, he was the one that was doing all of the fighter interviews, you know, because Ness don't do none of that. He was the one that was flying all over to the big fights, doing all the interviews and everything, you know, all that. But he started he's actually I think he about to branch off from the boxing boys. He gonna start his own shit.
What's his name?
Daniel. He connected in, like, he real cool with now here another one. Don't let me say nothing bad about don't let me get to talking about Tank around him. Me and him will go at it over Tank, because him and Tank boys, like, that's his partner. Him and Tank, he real close with Tank. He real close with Devin Haney. He real close with Erickson Lubin. You know what I'm saying? But don't let me say nothing about Tank. Me and him was actually, we was in the media room working the fight one. Me and him got into a full blown debate because I said something about Tank.
Okay, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all hear. I'm gonna play this real fast, and then I'm gonna let y'all see, so y'all can get a glimpse of why Ness said the shit he said though. So this is what I put up.
Okay, let everybody know what you about to play right now.
I'm about to play Ness when he was hating on Errol Spence.
Ness from the Boxing Voice.
Ness from the Boxing Voice.
Okay.
All right, here we go, right here.
Ness, you see he's taking you, but Ness, you see he's taking you at what you said though, 200,000. Like, I think that Ness was being a little. I think he was talking a little shit. Like, I think he agrees that Crawford Spence would likely do more than 200,000. You know,
I don't know. Wilder Fury did 325. You want to give them that?
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Neither of those guys are Wilder. Neither of them are motherfucking Fury. So how can we say this fight is ready? Now I get it. People gonna look at me and be like, "Yo, but they not heavyweights," and that's cool. Cool. We don't want to compare them to heavyweights. Cool. But heavyweights just did 825, 750 to 850. So if they could only do that, like, why do you think this fight is all of a sudden ready?
Oh, Nestor Gibb thinks Spence and Crawford won't get over 200,000. The biggest fight in boxing. You talking about they can't get over 200,000? That's you a clown. All right, so that's me. That's on that part now. This ain't his first time hating on Earl with the number.
I remember when he said that shit. I thought that shit was crazy as hell.
Yeah, that's just with over 200,000 with fucking Earl and Crawford. That one, man, like, that's the lowest. Like you said, they can't get over 200,000. That's the lowest, bro. But that ain't the first time he said that shit with Earl in the numbers. That's why I say he be hating this shit. But this another time, and then I'm gonna read to y'all what I wrote on his ass, and then I'm gonna tell y'all what he put in my inbox.
So next from the Boxing Boys, he inboxed you.
Yeah, this ain't the first time. Man, Ness had words before. we had words before, man, is that because he know he be hating on Earl, bro, but then he be trying to come back like he not. It's just like when he ran up on Kenny Porter and Danny Garcia now, he got the time about Earl numbers and shit. Hold on, I'm about to pull out the other one with him and Kenny Porter.
Okay, then after this, I want to get into Keith Thurman a little bit because Keith Thurman had a lot to say. So after this, I'm gonna get into what Keith Thurman, was talking about. He had a lot to say. So go ahead.
All right, now. Oh, I'm looking for it. I'm trying to find it. I know it's on this other page. But I'll get back to it, y'all, because Keanu on time. But this way came to my inbox and said, Key. He said that's not because first let me read y'all what I wrote on his and then we can move to you and Thurman. Then I'll find the other little thing and bring it back.
All right.
But what I wrote, I said at Next Though GTO, I tagged the nigga. I said, how come Errol Spence Terence Crawford can't do 200,000 pay-per-view buys when Spence versus Mikey did 400,000 and Spence versus Porter did way over 200,000? Dude said Ness was talking a little shit. Nah, homie, he was talking a lot of bullshit. When you ask people all over the world what fight they want to see, EJ versus Bud is on the top of everybody's list. I'm not saying they would do Mayweather numbers right now, but it most definitely would be a success, and I predict over 500K easily with great promo. Earl's star power is for real and growing, especially after he make his return to boxing and shut all you naysayers and doubters up. So then he came to my shit. He's talking about, that's not what I said. You are taking my words out of context, but it's cool. Having an opinion isn't hate. Guys like you are why Earl think I dislike him. You take a small part of a 3-hour discussion and pay me and why that fix you. Again, cool. Whatever makes you happy. But if you ever want to speak instead of assuming and insults, call me, champ. Which I am going on. I'm going on the boxing voice. I'm letting everybody know so y'all can see me handling that said. But bro, you do this. Let's do this shit all the time. Hate on Earl numbers. Say this can't happen. Say that can't happen. Say this fighter not ducking him. That fighter not ducking him. Earl is not a star. He said this shit multiple times. Like all you gotta do is check the receipts. So he hate on Earl multiple times. But now that like Ness was in position, let me say this and then you can move on, Keith. Ness was in position to really fuck with Errol Spence. When Earl was for the fight Chris Algieri, he was in the gym with him, letting him know that that's when Earl wasn't really talking to the cameras and shit. But he was one of the first people that got Earl to talk a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But all he had to do was stay solid with the shit. He got mad when Kenny Porter called him boxing ego or Dante boxing that shit. He called him once and told him that he be riding people nuts. And after that interview where he couldn't get in the gym with Kenny, that nigga switched all the way up on Errol Spence, and he got to saying, "Oh, Sean ain't ducking Earl, Thurman not ducking Earl." Yeah, all that shit, bro. So then he got to get little interviews with Kenny Porter and shit. So and him and Correa got into it a couple times too, just debating the shit. But Ness switched up, but then like he kissed the ass over that way to get over there. But now that Earl is on, now he want to kiss ass to try to get Earl back, and get interviews and shit. But it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. But go ahead, Keith.
Yeah. Ness, I mean, he liked to shake shit up. He liked to shake shit up, man. But moving along, right? Let's talk about Keith Thurman, right? Keith Thurman, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. A lot of people, they can't stand Keith Thurman. And I'm mad at Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman lost me a whole lot of money when he fought Pacquiao. But other than that, I like Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to respect a man that keep it real and tell you how it is. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. No matter what you say, you can't say that Keith Thurman don't keep it real. And that's why a lot of people don't like Keith Thurman because he keep it too real. He'll straight out tell you like, Errol, Errol's he's the top up there. I don't want to fight him yet. I'll say him I'll say him to the end. Like he tell you Keith Thurman keeps it 100. Every interview that Keith Thurman has ever done, he don't never switch up and he keep the same energy and he real. So I can't really hate Keith Thurman as much as I want to. You know what I'm saying? I like Keith Thurman because he keep it real and I got to respect it. even if we think some of the shit that he say is pussy, he still keep it real. He tell you how he feel. And it's kind of funny though, because Keith Thurman, he stay on top of AB's head. He stay on top of Adrien Broner's head, right? So they asked him again. They always asking him about fighting Adrien Broner. So he got Ellie Setback actually did this interview. Ellie Setback did one of the best interviews that I've heard him do in years, because we all know Ellie Setback, he usually do interviews and he asks these motherfucking fighters about how much does their jewelry cost, and you know what I'm saying, how much did the watch cost on their arm. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. I don't give a damn. Ask these tough questions that the fans want to hear, and he actually did in this Keith Thurman interview. He asked the tough questions that we want to hear. But one of the questions was brought up was, you know, would he fight Adrien Broner? Because we know that, you know, in the past that him and Adrien Broner have had some back and forth going on. And Keith Thurman continues to take jabs and belittle Adrien Broner, whether it's true or not. You know, it's funny though, because Keith Thurman was like, fight Adrien Broner. He's like, nah. He was like, you don't. Hey, Money. I think you got something. You turn that down a little bit.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot. I fucking pop back on. I got it. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, he was like, fight Adrien Broner. He was like, nah. He was like, why would I fight Adrien Broner? Adrien Broner don't throw enough fight. He doesn't throw enough punches to make any fight intriguing. Like, he doesn't throw enough punches to even make it a closer, exciting fight. Why would I fight Adrien Broner? He was like, if he can up his punch output, you know, maybe then I would consider fighting Adrien Broner, but he don't even throw enough punches to make a fight exciting or make people want to watch a fight between me and him. And that shit funny to me because, I mean, at the end of the day, whatever we want to say, we all know that it's true, right? We hear Adrien Broner, he can hype up a fight like a motherfucker, but when he get in the ring, right, when AB step in the ring, we all know that if it's up to him to make a fight worth watching, it's not going to happen. It has to be the other opponent, because we know that AB is not ever going to throw punches in a fight. I mean, come on now. Imagine AB against Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, you know, he has a pretty high work rate, and AB is going to be there the whole time on the defense with his gloves, with his high guard up, and he not gonna throw. He might throw 5 punches in a round. So I kind of agree with what Keith Thurman is saying. It's funny because he always take a, you know, every time asked about Adrien Broner, he always take a jab at Adrien Broner. But the shit is kind of true if you really think about what he said. He says, "Why would I fight Adrien Broner? Adrien Broner is not gonna, you know what I'm saying? He's not even gonna throw enough punches to make a fight worth watching." So what you think about that, Money Brown, before we go into and Keith Thurman, he said a lot, but I'm gonna just start off with that. What y'all think about that? What you think about that, Money?
I always thought I still believe that's a good fight for both of them. Like right now, coming back, I know what Thurman's saying. He ain't gonna throw a lot of punches, but I disagree. Like once you fight him, it depends on who he fight. Somebody like Thurman, because Thurman, like, he do fight when like you crack that motherfucker, but he a front runner as well, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he a front runner to where the first 6 rounds, anything possible with Thurman. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker come out looking good, but then the last 6, he try to pop shot your ass and move. And when you look at him fight, it's always the second half of the fight where fighters come on his ass. You know what I'm saying? Except Manny Pacquiao, but besides that, he always jump out on the fighter. Then the second half, the fighter start coming back on his ass. I feel like AB can, because we know he got a weak ass body, and I feel like AB can get to his body and trouble his ass. I favor Thurman in the fight, but I always thought like that's the fight for both of them to come back against. Just me myself, because AB coming back, he need a big time fight. He want to fight somebody. Thurman want to come back. I don't know if he gonna pick like some type of tune-up fight, but when you look at AB, the right name probably ain't the most active fighter for us in the ring, like letting his hands go. but he accurate when he do let his fucking hands go. And if he do let his hands go,
accurate.
if he do let his hands go, he look good. We see the flashes of AB that we all like. We see him like when he let his hands go fast, good counter shots, until he get his ass hit with a power shot, and as you know, he right back to the high guard and moving and trying to pop shot and shit and just win off a few punches around, a few hard shots. But to me, I like the fight between both of them cats. They can talk. It'll be one hell of a talk. You know, like they go talk shit to each other.
Yeah, they would. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's gonna sell. Hey, I'm over here laughing, man. That shit funny as hell. My boy KG Alexander said, "AB goes."
Man, drop your ass. He ain't dropped me. You got your ass dropped. First round, buddy. First round.
Hey, I'm over here weak because I read the comments too. And my boy KG Alexander said AB gonna be throwing. He said AB gonna be throwing 20 punches around at max, and then shaking his motherfucking head every time he gets smacked. He do be doing that shit. He do be doing that shit, man. He every time he nope, it didn't. Nope. Hey, that shit funny. My boy Trevin Simmons said you gotta put some respect on Ohio. Hey, man, I'm gonna put respect. Hey, AB, I ain't gonna lie. AB was still one of my favorite fighters, if not my favorite fighter, all the way up until he fucking showed his ass off in that Manny Pacquiao fight. For one, I knew he was gonna lose to Manny Pacquiao.
Me too.
But I knew he was gonna lose. I won money, a lot of money, because he lost that fight. But the thing is,
bet on Pacquiao?
Huh?
You bet on Pacquiao?
Oh, yeah, of course. Against AB, of course I bet on Pacquiao. Yeah. But see, the thing is, deep down, even though I had my money riding with Pacquiao, I still wanted AB to win. And I still wanted AB to at least give a hell of a showing, right? And I actually just watched that fight the other night, right? And AB could have actually won that fight. He could have won that fight because that fight was pretty close. Not in rounds. I don't really think he was winning no rounds like that, but the rounds were Pacquiao was winning the rounds, but AB could have, if he had been more active, he could have won those rounds, right? Yeah. But he kept doing the same thing over and over. He would catch Pacquiao or throw that check left hook, and he was missing. But it's a lot of things that I saw in that fight that Adrien Broner could have did. But all that shit went out the window when Pacquiao caught him in, I think it was like the 7th round, and AB started running, and he didn't even want to win the fight after that. He just wanted to survive. But my boy Trevin Simmons says, he says, don't forget AB was the only fighter, what was after EJ to drop Sean Porter. I feel you, man, but like I said earlier, like I was saying earlier in the show, Trevin Simmons, I think, and this is truthfully, I think that AB could have been a great fighter. But once he got a little fame, I think that he liked being famous more than he liked being a fighter, more than he liked being known as a great fighter. Like, that's what he always wanted to be. He always wanted to be famous. And we saw that once he got to that certain level of fame. You know what I'm saying? And he another fighter, like I was saying about Tank Davis. He got to a point to where he stopped working on his craft. And you can't do that. And hit my like button. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Everything Boxing and Sports. And hit my like button. Maurice Isaac says, y'all know I beat that boy, and everybody know I beat that boy, and y'all know I beat that boy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I beat that boy. KG Alexander says AB gonna be throwing. I read that one already. Draco Bay says AB versus TC, or AB versus Thurman will be a circus. Man, I'm gonna tell you like this. I still, even though I lost a lot of respect for AB when he jumped in the ring and he, you know what I'm saying, did that whole, I know y'all know I beat that boy. Like, dog, what fight is you talking about? You wasn't even trying to win that fight. You was just trying to survive. You threw 6 or 7 punches around at max. Like, how did you beat that boy? So that shit had me, I ain't gonna lie. That whole shit that he did afterwards had me pissed off with AB, you know what I'm saying? Because I was wishing the best for AB, and he kind of embarrassed himself, and he was an embarrassment on that night to me.
I beat that boy. Everybody know I beat that boy. What they trying to do is they trying to get that money with Pacquiao and Floyd again. It's all good because the hood know what's up. Well, the hood know you got your ass whooped.
Yeah, dog. And the thing is about that shit, dog. Like you had 12 rounds to get all of the aggression out that you wanted to show that you could fight, but then you want to hop on. You want to hop in front of the face of the commentator, right? The one that's interviewing you, and now you want to fight him. Who was it? Who was doing that interview after the fight, the post-fight interview?
It's always
was it Gray? Huh?
You talking about Steve Farhood?
Was it Steve Farhood? Whoever it was. Yeah. Maybe it was Steve Farhood. Now you want to fight Steve Farhood, a man that ain't never threw on a pair of boxing gloves in his life, but you want to fight him when you had 12 rounds to go in there and get all your aggression out with Manny Pacquiao, but you didn't do it? Come on, dog. That shit had me hot. Now, let me see.
Bro,
Tim, huh?
Did you touch on Floyd talking about Pacquiao? I mean, they should Earl Nam shouldn't call Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah. I mean, we could touch on that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We could touch on that. So Floyd Mayweather came out. If y'all ain't seen it yet, Floyd Mayweather came out and he says all of these young fighters that's calling out Manny Pacquiao, right? All these young fighters that's calling out Manny Pacquiao, basically they need to be ashamed of themselves, you know, for calling out Manny Pacquiao. They need to focus on fighting each other and stop focusing on fighting Manny Pacquiao because he's too old. That's basically what he was saying. Now, the way I feel about that is, yeah, I mean, he has a point, but at the end of the day, when you look at the factors that revolve around why they're calling him out, he don't have no point, right? Because I can understand if Manny Pacquiao was he didn't have no belt. He hadn't just came off beating Keith Thurman, and he was just, an old dude out there with no belt that's, that you can kind of, fight and say that you beat this legend. Right? But that's not the case. The case is that Manny Pacquiao is a world champion, right? Manny Pacquiao just got done beating Keith Thurman, and a large majority of boxing fans think that Manny Pacquiao can beat Errol Spence. They think that he could beat Sean Porter. They think that he could beat Danny Garcia. They think that he could beat Keith Thurman again, right? A large portion of fans think that Manny Pacquiao is better than these guys. And he has a belt. So with them circumstances, with the surrounding circumstances, why wouldn't these young dudes be calling out Manny Pacquiao? Right? He can either take his old ass on somewhere and drop the belt, or he can fight these dudes because you the champ. So I don't feel what Floyd Mayweather is talking about. What Floyd Mayweather is talking about is some bullshit. Just like most of the shit that Floyd Mayweather be talking about is some bullshit. So you're telling me that okay, say this. I'm a top 100. I'm top dog at 147 along with Pacquiao and some of these other guys, right? So you telling me I'm not supposed to want to fight Manny Pacquiao just because he's 41 years old or 40 years old. So you telling me I'm not supposed to want that strap that he has? I'm not supposed to want that notoriety that he has? Plus you telling me that if I get in the ring with him, that he can beat me, but I'm not supposed to want to fight this man? You telling me all of this, but I'm not supposed to want to fight this man, right? So with all of that I just said, make that shit make sense to me, please. You go ahead and cook on it, Money. Well, let me get through some of these comments, and then I'm gonna let you cook on it. KG Alexander says AB wanted to be Money Mayweather, but never wanted to grind like Pretty Boy Floyd. Plain and simple facts. Tim Johnson says AB still has the skills to be great, but after Madonna fight, that's when we start to see him being gun shy. Let me see. My bad. James Benitez says Floyd saying they need to stop chasing Pac-Man, but Pac-Man got a belt, so he's a target. Exactly, facts. So these dudes should call him out regardless of his age. That's a fact. Trevin Simmons says hell no. KG Alexander says excuse me, not just a world champion, Pac is a major title holder. Facts. So why are we supposed to look over him when I got millions of motherfuckers telling me that he can whoop me? Come on now. Trevin Simmons says Pac will get washed. He says Trevin Simmons he says versus Spence. He'll get washed versus Spence. I agree with you. Draco Bay says Floyd just be talking. Michael Jordan will never be a great coach, and Floyd will never be a great commentator. They only great at the sport they participated in. That's real talk. I think that Floyd Mayweather, first of all, yeah, we all know he couldn't be no great commentator, but I would see Floyd as a trainer. I think he could be a great trainer, but he would never be a great trainer because he's too focused on himself to ever be a great trainer. But anyway, like I said, go ahead and cook on that. What I just got done saying about the whole Manny Pacquiao and you know these young fighters chasing Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, and that's how I look at the situation myself. Like I said, if Manny Pacquiao, like you said, was just in the game, just trying to tag along, is over with, but he just don't want to let go. Okay, we get it. But this motherfucker is still fighting at the elite level. This motherfucker put down Adrien Broner and Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? He out here. Not only is he out here, but he out here in the ring with Errol Spence. He out here saying Errol Spence is on the top of his list. He out here saying only 3 fighters that he want to fight between Danny, Mikey, and Earl, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, man, the man is still a fucking legend in the game. And this is the sport, and this is the nature. You know what I'm saying? You want the best of the best. And we look at Manny Pacquiao being an 8 division world champion. Like, even when Floyd was in the interview, he say, and I don't want nobody to feel disrespected, nothing like that. But I want these kids young fighters to chase the young fighters. It don't work like that, Floyd. It don't work like that. Look how when you was young and you fight Fernando Hernandez, he wasn't no motherfucking 20-something years of age. You know what I'm saying? But the situation is, if you was 32 years old or you was 30 years old right now, if Floyd was Floyd right now, 30 years old, and Manny Pacquiao was 41 years old and he had the WBA scrap, 8 division world champion right now, Floyd Mayweather will want Manny Pacquiao if that was the case. You know what I mean? Now, this is what I'm telling people. All right, I understand what y'all saying. Yes, we want to see the young boys fight the young boys. They should be calling out each other. They are fighting each other. But when you got a motherfucker like Manny Pacquiao right there in the mix, we know that he got about 2 fights left in him, then he gone out the game. So you telling me I worked my ass off like Errol Spence, back-to-back pay-per-views, would have been a third one in January against Danny Garcia, but nonetheless, of course, it happened. But back-to-back pay-per-views, a unified champion. I worked my ass off to be the top dog at the welterweight division. Manny Pacquiao is at the welterweight division, and I'm not supposed to want the biggest payday of my fucking career. I'm not supposed to want this thunder to help my career and my legacy and my name go to a higher states. I just supposed to sit back and say, nah, Pacquiao just whooped Thurman ass. He the WBA super world champion. Nah, I don't want to fight him. I'm gonna fight Danny or Bud, and I'm gonna let the other dudes go fight him and make a big payday and make their name off Manny Pacquiao. But I'm not supposed to call him out. Fuck no, hell no. I ain't how boxing work. Boxing never worked that way. Never. Look how Muhammad Ali was when Larry Holmes beat his ass. Mike Tyson, you know what I'm saying? Losing to motherfucking, well, him and Holyfield never around the same age. But nonetheless, if you had a young buck like Deontay Wilder, Mike was 41 years of age, but it was Mike Tyson. You think Wilder ain't gonna knock Tyson ass the fuck out? And that was gonna be thunder and clout. So,
but look what Mike Tyson was doing when he was fighting them old cats. He was fighting cats like Larry Holmes and Bone Crusher Smith. They was way older.
My St. Louis man, motherfucking Spinks. You know what I'm saying? Michael Spinks knocking his ass out. So You can't tell somebody not to make their career, but then in the same breath, when Floyd say, "Oh, these fighters they set out these little arenas and they making
He always gonna throw some jabs.
cool paydays. They doing okay numbers, but they not doing Floyd Mayweather. Okay, you do got the numbers, Floyd, you got that. But why would you tell them not to chase the fight where they can do big numbers? You know what I'm saying? You gonna tell them not to chase the Manny Pacquiao fight, knowing Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence can do numbers, knowing they can do numbers. A 147-pound unified champion. I mean, unified championship fight. Another black man against a whole other country in the Philippines, because the Philippines go right behind him, undefeated. You know what I'm saying? And you tell him not to do that, man, they gonna do crazy numbers. Now, they might not hit the million mark or fuck around with you, but it's gonna be some crazy numbers where they can get some great fucking paydays. You know what I'm saying? So that there alone, if Errol Spence gonna beat him, become a 3-division world champion, defeat Manny Pacquiao, add your name to fucking history for the rest of your life, your name linked to Manny Pacquiao for the rest of your life. Like, come on now, man. You can't tell nobody not to go chase that fight, bro. You can't tell them not to chase their bag and don't get their money. You know what I'm saying? That's just not right for Floyd to say that shit. And as much as I admire Floyd Mayweather, and I do got him as my GOAT and one of the greatest of all time. No, man, you wrong. It's 2 left shoes, goddamn me. Come on now, bro. You can't say that shit, because I'm quite sure if Errol Spence was under Mayweather promotion, you would be damn sure trying to make Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao happen under Mayweather promotion and put that money in your pocket, because you understand the business. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Floyd wrong. A lot of people coming out saying, "Oh, Floyd right. Why y'all don't want to see the fight with Terrence Bud and Earl? Y'all don't want to see that fight? Yeah, they need to leave him alone." And he said, if it fall in your hand, then do what you got to do. Nah, I'm gonna make this shit happen, just like he wouldn't have made it happen. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, he wrong. Errol Spence, Terrence Bud Crawford, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, Adrien Broner, whoever in the one fucking welterweight division, call out Manny Pacquiao. Because yes, Manny Pacquiao do got the right to pick who he want to pick. We're not saying that. And whomever he pick, we gonna let that shit ride. We gonna accept it. But that don't mean they not supposed to call his ass out and try not to get the fight with Manny Pacquiao, the legend Manny Pacquiao. You wrong with 2 left shoes, and Earl deserved that fight.
Real talk, real talk. Now, let me get through some of these comments. Let me see. Trevin Simmons says cash rules. That's real. Shit, I mean, they want to get that payday. Plus, he got a title. And plus, I mean, like I said, it's more than just a payday, because plus you got millions of fans that's saying that he can beat these guys still. So I mean, it is what it is. James Benitez says that's like me telling you guys not to shoot to be like Joe Rogan and just focus on other talk shows. He says Floyd not kicking the right game, and OG should be a better mentor. Yeah, that's real. He says I tell my youngest always shoot for the top, period. Real shit, because what you doing it for? But other than that, like I said, I mean, I think we all agree that's some bullshit that Floyd was talking. Manny Pacquiao is one of the top dogs. He's still out there beating these young cats. And so why wouldn't they want to fight him? Why wouldn't they want to fight him? Other than that, I want to move on real quick, and now I'm going to get up out of here because we've been on here for almost 2 hours. I want to move on real quick and talk about something that Derek James says, and if you don't know who Derek James is, I mean, it is Errol Spence's trainer, Derek James. Okay. I want to move on to something that he said when asked about the Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight. Derek James says that, the fight could possibly not happen anymore because he says, fans might not be able to afford the pay-per-view with everything that's going on with this pandemic going on. A lot of people feel that, this is just the beginning, that is going to get a lot worse as far as financially, businesses being shut down, people losing their jobs and all of that. And Derek James is saying that, basically, it's going to cost a lot. You know, you're going to have to pay both of these fighters a lot of money, plus the networks and everything that goes in on the business side, that the fight with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr., you know, it might not happen because people might not be able to afford to pay for the pay-per-view. If you're going to want to charge, you know, everybody $80 or $80 to $100, you know, a pay-per-view to watch the fight, it might not be able to happen because people just won't be able to afford it. So that's something that's still up in the air. You know, I really don't even know how to feel about that. I don't really know how to answer that, because that's a fight when you ask, you know, if you ask Errol Spence, you ask Terence Crawford, they both say, oh, that fight gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But then they both tell you the same thing, that, you know, when the business is right. Terence Crawford has said it recently, if the business is right. So we all know that, you know, a fighter talking and telling you something's gonna happen is much different when it comes to, you know, getting the business taken care of. So, you know, what's y'all take on that? Do y'all think that the Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight could be in big jeopardy now that, you know, we're going through a pandemic, and that a lot of people might not be able to afford to buy these pay-per-views like they was able to afford before? What y'all think about that? Money, you go ahead. What you think about that, my dude?
I don't like the statement. You know what I'm saying? I rock with Derrick James. I feel like if people want to see the fight, they go pay for the bitch. And I feel like people will pay for that fight. You know what I'm saying? I understand what he's saying, the pandemic going on, a lot of people doing this, a lot of people doing that. At the end of the day, it ain't stopping motherfuckers from going out to buy them shoes. It ain't stopping motherfuckers from going out to buy them outfits, to get them wheels on them cars. I'm still seeing motherfuckers order this, order that. You know what I'm saying? So I know it is a hard time, people losing their jobs and shit like that. But I ain't gonna say everybody got something stashed away for a rainy day. But I think a lot of people, you know, is hustlers and finding a way to bring in some kind of income. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you black from the streets and shit like that. You always gonna find a way to bring in some type of income. And I think on fight night, on that day, when we talking about fucking Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, you know what I'm saying? You gonna find a way to click that button. You know what I mean? You gonna find a way to click that button. Even if you gotta goddamn me mortgage the cable bill a little bit, pay half here and half later. But I feel like, you know what I'm saying, people gonna find a way.
They gonna pay that shit. They just like an alcoholic gonna find a way to get that liquor. Hey, they gonna find a way to click that pay-per-view button.
You hear me? And I feel like that bitch gonna happen. And I don't wanna see these crazy fanatic Crawford fans, because man, Keon Crawford fans too, but you crazy fanatics Crawford fans taking shit like that around. See, we told y'all that one. Look, Third J saying people don't even
know that's what's gonna happen next.
They don't even want to pay to pay. So you know if they doing, they bagging out the fight already. Excuse out there, excuse. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I feel like if you want to see it bad enough, and if they promote that bitch the right way, you know what I'm saying? But that's a fight I feel like you don't even have to promote for real, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, now pay-per-view, you want to promote that bitch if you want to go to different countries, if you want it to be big, which you ain't flying out the country to promote it. You know, you fly to different cities and shit like that. But I feel like that's a fight it'll sell itself. It'll sell itself because ESPN, they go do their job. You know what I'm saying? Once they do their job, Fox go do their job. You know, Showtime can pitch in, even though it might not happen on Showtime. They can pitch in, but all these commercials, the internet, YouTube, if you do boxing channels like me and Keon, it's damn sure gonna have commercials galore with Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, you know. And I do feel like that press conference will be lit and they gonna talk shit to each other. You know what I'm saying? They gonna talk shit to each other.
That shit gonna get heated because they got a lot of respect for each other, but they both of them is so competitive. And then with Bo-Mac is gonna be the reason why the fight sells even bigger than what we think is gonna sell. Because Bo-Mac, he gonna get on there and he gonna talk. He doesn't care what come out of his mouth. He gonna talk really disrespectful, and he gonna get under Errol Spence skin to where he gonna make it personal.
What Derrick James can talk some shit too, and that's why I say, even remember when I emailed Derrick James, I said what I said about Bo Mac. He had came out that shell on his ass. And
but see, Derrick James, that really ain't his MO. You know what I'm saying? You really Derrick James kind of like, went in front of the cameras. He kind of keep it kind of business. You know what I'm saying? He kind of keep it low, like toned down. But Bo Mac, he gonna disrespect you.
Oh, no doubt. That he think it's part of a game plan with him. He think he can, rattle some shit and make somebody come out and do some stupid shit. So, and that's just how he talk, and that's just him. Sometimes it's in him. Yeah, we know Spence is this and that, and it's gonna happen. But another thing is gonna have the fans on edge. You gonna have the shit gonna be split. It's gonna be split, and we gonna talk that shit. It's gonna be split where it's gonna be heated debates. It's gonna be a lot of shit talking going back and forth. It's gonna be a lot of motherfucking naysayers coming out of her and there, and a lot of haters that don't even like Spence talking shit, and a lot of haters that don't like Crawford talking shit. And then you gonna have the real fans like me and Kenyon that got our opinions, but care about both dudes, want to see a great fight, but we think Spence gonna win, but know that Bud got the skills to pull it out as well. You know what I'm saying? But that shit gonna be fire, bro. And for us, the sports world, I think the sports world's gonna be on notice as well. And that's gonna be Bud Crawford's biggest fight and get him the most notoriety that he ever had in his life. You know what I'm saying? Because Earl, like I said, Earl's star power is big and is rising. Earl just growing and growing. Don't let him get a fight with Manny Pacquiao to be Pacquiao before he fight Bud. You know what I'm saying?
Real fact.
That shit gonna be real. But for us, the Derrick James situation, I feel like people are about that fight. And I feel like people, if you want to see it bad enough, you go press that button.
Yeah, Draco Bay says Bo Mac is the X factor. He says he gonna light it up in the press conference. Hey, that's real talk, because like I said, you know what I'm saying? You got people that think shit and they ain't really gonna say it. Then you got people that's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna get too disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? There's certain boundaries I'm not gonna cross. And then you got niggas like Bo Mac. You know what I'm saying? You got motherfuckers like Bo Mac that's gonna say whatever, whether it's true or not, and they're gonna disrespect you to the fullest. They gonna talk about your mama being a prostitute back in the day. They gonna tell you know what I'm saying? Bo Mac don't have no filter, and that's we look at it as disrespect, which it is. But when it comes to boxing and combat sports, that's the type of shit that brings ass to the seats. That's what type of shit that gets viewership. That's what type of shit that makes people want to see fights even more. And that's what it is. Bo Mac, he doesn't have no filter, and he really gonna be disrespectful. He gonna say anything that it take. We all know, and I'm not even gonna get into some of the stuff that he gonna say about Errol Spence, but we all got an idea of what type of things that he gonna say. And then with him saying these type of things, is gonna bring it's gonna bring media to ask Errol Spence a lot of these things, and say a lot of these things to Errol Spence that Bo Mac is saying, and ask Errol, how he feels about what Bo Mac is saying. And that's what's going to turn Errol Spence up, because Errol going to talk that shit. A lot of times Derrick James, he just might, take the other route and like, well, I ain't going to get into all of that. I'm here to train Errol Spence, and I don't get into all that talk. But when you ask Errol about that shit, he gonna get into it, and he gonna cook on that shit. So I think that the leading up to the fight is gonna be great. But like I said, they can't make a fight like this until everything is back to normal. Because you can't have a fight like this with no crowd. You know what I'm saying? And then the build up, they're gonna have to have a PBC. What was it? The PBC? What? It's not called 24/7. What's the PBC? Inside PBC fight camp. Yeah, they're gonna have to have an inside PBC fight camp. They're gonna have to have something similar, on the ESPN side. It's gonna take a lot, that they're gonna have to do for the cross promotion to build this fight. And what if they were like, fuck it, okay? We know everybody, you know, going through a tough time. What if they make this fight like $35 a pay-per-view?
Yeah, but what I would say though, you hit a big ass point, Keon. You cannot have this fight without the crowd in the building. Talking about you want to make, you want to make. You know how much they gonna sell them fucking front row tickets for? Shit, they can't miss out on them gates. They need that gate money. You cannot, especially if you're talking about putting it on pay-per-view. All that shit go together. Hotel rooms, all that shit go together. Like, and then like them arenas, like especially like somebody like a motherfucking Jerry Jones, he ain't trying to open up his arena if he ain't making no bridge. Shit, I'm just putting a fight in my arena for what? You know what I'm saying? Not saying it's gonna be in Dallas, but even with Vegas, like Vegas, what we opening up the arena just, you know what I'm saying? Even though the fight is what it is, but they ain't bringing in no bread. They need them seats to get sold. I mean, you got so much shit. Hotel rooms, merchandise, food, restaurants, all that shit, man. It's like so much shit that pops up on a big ass fight like that, especially when you bringing all them superstars in town. So yeah, but like I can see that fight happening next year around this time or the end of the winter time next year. Like
yeah, because everything gonna have to go back to all the way normal before they can make these big fights like that. Trevin Simmons says, remember what Derek was on with Kenny. Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Derek James, that wasn't like in front of a camera situation. You know what I'm saying? That was some behind the scenes shit. You know what I'm saying? Derek James, he kind of one of them, like, he's a no-nonsense type of dude. You know what I'm saying? I heard street stories about Derek James. And Derek James, you know what I'm saying, is a no-nut. From what I hear about Derek James in the streets, he one of them dudes that's not finna, you know what I'm saying, stand up and go back and forth and argue with you and talk like that. He one of them that's gonna take it to your mouth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He gonna, you know what I'm saying? He gonna rearrange a couple of your teeth. He gonna, you know what I'm saying, dig in your mouth a little bit. You know, and that's the type of dude that Derek James is. So I think that's why he takes that approach, like, oh, well, you know, I'm just, you know, that's why he tried to take that nice guy approach. And I don't get into all of that because he's really not the one to talk back and forth like that. Bomac, on the other hand, he a different type of dude. You know, he's more of a comedian type of dude. He gonna say whatever he wants. He's gonna get real disrespectful. And
Crawford don't drink. He need that for me, fat ass.
Yeah, and then Travis Simmons also says, he said when you said that's a death wish when you say something about somebody mama like that. Hey, you can't put nothing past Derek James. You can't because I'm sorry, Bomac. You can't put
it's like battle rap, man. Right? It's like battle rap shit.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna say anything. You can't put nothing past Bomac because if Terence Crawford is fighting one of these top level fighters and Bomac find out that his mama was a prostitute back in the early 80s, Bomac is gonna say it when they get to going back and forth. He don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Draco Bay says $2,000 a seat. Draco Bay, them New York prices. When you go out to Vegas, $2,000 a seat is cheap.
Right, $2,000, Draco.
Hey, Draco. When you come out to Vegas, when you go to a big fight in Vegas, like say for instance the Wilder fight, right? The Wilder Fury fight, they was charging $2,600 for the not even floor seats. I'm talking about the level right back above the floor level, but like in the mid to way back, they was charging $2,600, and that was the cheapest seats. Right. So, you know,
they've been in front row. You think they charging them big ass superstars $2,000? That's them pennies to them. They charge them motherfuckers. You better add 6 zeros behind that motherfucker, Draco.
Like now $2,000,
5 zeros, $200,000 a seat.
Like I think the fights in like the New York area, you know, New York and Barclays Center, you know, they be a little cheaper, but then you got to think because they gotta be cheaper in New York because you've paying a whole lot of money in New York to stay in a small ass fucking hotel. You know what I'm saying? So it's different, but in Vegas they charge it just depends on where they have the fight at. You know what I'm saying? Because in Vegas they're gonna charge a lot more in Vegas, just because they know that all of the stars are gonna come out when it's in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Vegas is expensive. I mean, you go to the club in Vegas. I done been out there to big fights more times than I can count. You go to the club after, okay, say fight night, right? Big fight didn't happen. Now you go to one of these big clubs, right? In Vegas. They charging you $28 to $32 for a fucking rum, for a Remy and Coke.
Yeah.
They charging you $28 to $32 for a Remy and Coke that they just put a splash of Remy in.
Yeah.
Vegas is expensive. You know what I'm saying? Vegas is expensive. They charge you want to get a table at one of these clubs after fight night in Vegas. They charging you $6,000 to $10,000 for table with bottle service. Shit crazy.
They understand. They understand.
Damn, I have to come to the West, huh? He says, "Y'all, yeah, it's expensive in Vegas. I'm not making this shit up. I done been there plenty of nights. Hey, I done been there and did plenty of nights. It's expensive in Vegas. So if you could get a seat for $2,000, hey, you a lucky dude. At a fight like that, now you get a seat for $2,000. You know what I'm saying? Great, up close floor, ringside seat, depending on what type of fight it is. But when you talk about these big fights like we talking, nah, you can't do it because they know that all the stars gonna come out and they gonna pay whatever they have to, and that's just how it is in Vegas. But man, I've been on here, man. I gotta close the show up. Before I close up, go ahead and any closing words you want to say, Money?
Man, appreciate all y'all for riding with the bro Keon, man. Y'all ride with me. Salute to y'all out there. Hope all y'all boys staying safe and things like that. Just keep showing love, man. We do this for y'all. We will be back with more fire. You know what I mean? More fire. And we just gonna keep it true, man, until boxing come back. And it's look like it's fit to get ready and come back next month, hopefully at the end of this month. But until then, man, y'all just keep the ears locked to the streets. Stay safe out there. Stay prayed up. And we'll see y'all later.
Yeah, and make sure that everybody go subscribe to Money Brown TV on YouTube.
Right. And follow me on Instagram at Money_the writer.
Facts. And y'all already know who I do. If you not already subscribed to my channel, go to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Everything Boxing and Sports on YouTube, okay? And hit my like button because it don't take nothing to subscribe to the channel and it don't cost nothing to hit that like button. But like I said, until next time I'm out, and you already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again. I don't watch reality TV. I watch boxing. And anything ain't everything, but around here, everything boxing. Until next time, I'm out.